Sunday night. What's up, guys? Good night, good night. Good night. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, I guess is what I should say. Good night sounds like we're getting off and we just got on here. We have a lot of options for zippered grocery bags, normal grocery bags, closed bags, medium, large, and small. All of these micro rigs sold out. They're all gone. There's 2 left hand available. That's the only thing that's available currently. All of these also sold. They'll all be shipping tomorrow. Kilo Bravo, what's up? Russell, how are you? Cole, what's going on? What's up, what's up? Nalgene bottle koozies. Nalgene pouches. Red Bulls. Monster Energy koozies. Medical insert trays. TK4 rats pouches. Normal tourniquet pouches. All kinds of Velcro back cards. Stand-up pouches. EDC pouches, EDC organizers, 5x7 covers, pocket slides, 3-cell pocket slides, shotgun cards. Monty, what's up? Kerber, what's going on? Loveday, what's up? Chuck Peoples, Garth Waite, Webdad, what's up? Yeah, the Department of Energy guy is a trip. Cross-dresser, puppy play, all kinds of shit. Like, should have been a taboo, episode of taboo television show. It's a trip that they pick what seems to be highly mentally unstable people to be in positions of power. It's almost like some other country has bought off our politicians. Almost like that, right? All these micro rigs over here, these are all sold too. The only thing available if you need a micro rig right now, I've got a bunch of random left hands, but of the ones this week, there are 2 left-handers still available. Don, what's up? Charlie Wood, Sam Carroll, Mallory, what's up? Tyler Mallory. It's done on purpose. Of course it's done on purpose. How could it not be done on purpose? How could it be anything but on purpose? How is it in the best interest of the United States? What did you guys get done this weekend? Anything good? Do anything fun? Anything productive? Do you have anything to show for the weekend? How long do you predict till China invade? Oh, I don't have a prediction because I don't have any real information, right? And any information, anybody that thinks they have real information, all you have is distractions. Taiwan to invade? Not a fucking clue, man. Depends on which channel you listen to, which news you want to hear. Can you change it? I can't. Can you believe anything that you're told? I don't. I can ride that mountain bike right there. I can lift these weights. I can continue to buy food and put it away and organize my pantries. I can organize and figure out what we're going to build this week that people want to buy and how many to make of it. I can do that. I can order more materials that we're getting low on and hope that we can get them and then have a plan for what we're going to do if we can't get them. But as far as Taiwan, who knows, man? What's the other one? There's Taiwan, and then now they're saying North Korea, South Korea. Who fucking knows? Are they going to launch those nuclear missiles? No, they're not. They're not. If you want it, you know what you need? You need to be talked down is what you need. You need to be calmed down and do some, almost like doing some breathing exercises, right? It's always that adrenaline pump. What if this shit really is just to raise your flight or fight and to keep you in a constant state of turmoil so that you do not progress and do better and not need them? What if that really is what most of this is about, right? You should listen to Jack Spirko's show, because 99% of the time he's always right. Like whatever, all his predictions, and is it gonna invade Taiwan, nuclear rockets, nuclear missiles, are they gonna happen? Like he's always right about all that shit. And the one thing, like, okay, let's say they're gonna nuke us. You have every prepper channel out there right now telling people how to survive in apartments and all the stuff they need in case of nuclear war. I can't do anything about that shit. There's nothing I can really do about it. But I can do things that bring money into this business and pay my employees and make more money so that we can prepare for the shit that is definitely coming, right? Like weather pattern changes, food is getting harder to get. Amanda and I went to a lot of grocery stores this entire weekend that we never went to. And there's shit missing everywhere. We went to Walmarts that we didn't go to in different areas, and they had stuff that the main ones don't. But there was no chicken. Like we went to probably 15 places this weekend to buy bulk chicken breasts, and nobody had any. It's not there. So what's the move? Grow your own chickens. What if you can't get pelletized feed? Grow your own feed. What are you going to feed them? You're going to plant fodder trees, and you're going to plant things that chickens will eat. You're going to plant things that goats will eat. You're going to plant things that sheep will eat. You're going to plant things that your rabbits will eat. And you're going to need them less, and you're going to rely on them less. One of the most expensive inputs on the property is bags of feed. Bags of rabbit food, bags of chicken food, bags of layer pellet, bags of cracked corn. Can I buy corn myself and then crack it and save money? Probably. Probably can. How long will corn stay? Like if I got a small silo full of corn, how long will that last? I really don't know the answer to that. What's the equipment cost to do that? How much corn, vice buying bagged cracked corn, like the piece of equipment to the hammer mill to grind it up or whatever, it's probably going to be a couple grand. I don't really worry about the cost savings as much as the ability. I like to have the ability. So, and I don't know the answer. I have two big silos outside here I've never used. They need a few parts to get them running. But will the corn mold? Because the silos are going to sit in the sun and the cold, and they're going to sweat and have condensation inside. Do you have to run a fan to it? I know in the big, huge, when they have the fans, I know they have fans in the big, huge things that blow around and keep moisture out of the corn. But those are big, big silos. I know my silos outside don't have a fan in them. So those are answers I don't have. But I can find the answers to those and do the cost analysis, put it on paper, look at it, and decide, will it be a money saver? Will it be a money saving? And if it's not a money saving, will the whole corn store better than the cracked corn? So when the cracked corn starts to mold, plus the whole corn in the silo, we're probably not going to have rodents in it like we will the bags. And I only have so much room to store cracked corn. I definitely don't want it in here because it drew rodents in when we used to keep feed in the garage here. Those are things I can tell you about, but I can't tell you, I don't think anybody can tell you about Taiwan. They usually run corn through a drying process before it goes into the silo. Buddy farms worms to absolutely. So for worms, is he doing vermicomposting, like he's doing red wigglers and stuff, or is he doing soldier flies? So soldier flies are basically, you can pick up any roadkill, and you put it inside a container, elevated, and you punch some holes in, and the soldier flies come in and lay maggots, and the maggots hatch, and then crawl out, and the birds will eat and gobble those things up, and it's pure protein. You can also do mealworms. Curious what kind of worms your friend does. A guy gave me a little vermicomposting thing, and we just put like table scraps, vegetation in there, and the worms eat it up, and then they make worm castings, which are the worm shit, and they lay eggs and more worms come, and then in the bottom, the juice kind of runs down to the bottom, and you have a little valve, and you can fill a cup up with that stuff, and then you can add water, you can dilute water to it, and use it to fertilize stuff. There's a product comes in like 2-liter bottles called worm poop. Super expensive. It's great fertilizer. But those are actionable, right? Those are actionable. I don't need you to answer me. There's 49 of you on here, so why the fuck why are there only 37 likes? Because part of those 37 likes were from the very beginning of this video, and those people already signed off. So number one, push the like button. Now, I don't need an answer to this question, but how many of you spent this weekend scrolling through Facebook, seeing the beauty queen who's going to be in the military now, or going to fight and help, fight off the Russians from her country? And then how many of you saw the same thing, but they're like, this is all bullshit, she's an actor? How many of you saw the president of Ukraine told Biden offered to evacuate them, and he said, I don't need a ride, I need ammunition? Now there's a bunch of articles going around saying that he's an actor. He's not even the president of Ukraine. You don't know what to believe, and you never will know the truth. How many of you invested more than an hour, 2 hours, 6 hours over the weekend on that? Those are also the same people that will tell you why they didn't do things that were productive because they didn't have time. I'm guilty myself. I did it while riding in a vehicle, while riding in the truck to Nashville this weekend, while riding to Jackson this weekend, while coming home, scrolling through Facebook. That's how I know these things, because I wasted my time on them. That's how I can tell you about them right now. What could I have done in place of that? I could have been going through my website, updating, hey, I need a photo for this. Hey, this word, we can remove these words and make it less cluttered. We can have some uniformity through all of our text on our web. I could have done all kinds of things with my time, but I didn't. Also picked up pre-Civil War compression pepper box. Partnering with a guy sells antiquity. That's cool. Worm tea is crazy. It is crazy expensive. Putting the trout in the freezer, possibly getting more. You have trout? You caught trout or you bought trout? I had a bag of cracked corn go moldy in the basement less than a year. That's exactly what I'm talking about, man. I have dog food that goes moldy. I started keeping our dog food inside this building here. It sits up front. When you walk in the door, anybody that was here at the event, right as you walk in the door and you look down the row of webbing, there's like 15 bags, 15 50-pound bags of dog food there. Because it was molding outside. A bag of dog food now is $75 for the dog food that I use. Blew the snow out of the chicken yard, got vegetable seeds started. Right on, Beth. Beth, I was going to say, how much snow do you have? I see Wisconsin. I guess you have a lot. When I was a kid, we had an old non-working freezer we kept worms in. That's cool. You can do them in all kinds of shit. Worms will be your biggest thing that fuck up your, ants will be the biggest thing that fucks your worms up. Ants want to come. So you can take a bin like this. If you have ant problems, you can take a bin like this, put it in a kiddie pool, fill the kiddie pool with water, and that will keep the ants, or anything, it doesn't have to be as big as a kiddie pool. It can be just something bigger to surround it. Resell pocket slide, right on. I've been cataloging the propaganda and taking note on the behavior of those around me. I had a very protective weekend. Worked 28 hours in 2 days, 4 killer workouts, right on. I had some really good workouts this weekend too. My body is tired. Buying 8 pounds of fresh rainbow trout. I see there. There's the answer. Went to 2 Walmarts this weekend. No pasta at all. Chicken, same. No pasta. What I've been looking for, because I follow Stanley. I bought a bunch of like Stanley coffee presses because they're metal, right? They're pretty indestructible. You could fuck them up, but I don't know. I've got 10 boxes. Here's 2 of them. This is 2 of the things I bought. The pour over. So I'm following, all of a sudden I just bought these things, and now it starts showing me all of the profiles on Instagram. So I'm watching, I don't even know where they are. I'm watching Stanley on Instagram, and this, one of the videos, this dude opens this package of like miso noodles or some kind of noodles, and puts it in there with some hot water, puts a scoop of like dried garlic, a scoop of dried onions, puts some mushrooms in there, puts some spinach leaves in there, and then takes off and goes out, and he's in the middle of nowhere in the snow, and he pulls his shit out, and he's got like this awesome miso soup ready to go with ramen in it. So I'm like, okay, I want to get some ramen. So I'm looking for the package of the ramen he has in the video. I don't find it, but there's something called Sushi Chef. There's a brand called Sushi Chef. I find it on Amazon. I'm like, let's go to Walmart. So we go to Walmart, start looking for ramen. The ramen and all of that international section is fucking wiped out. There was no ramen. There was no fucking miso. There wasn't shit of anything there. All the stuff, the only thing they had were pre-packed hydrated, and I want them dry because dry will store, and the pre-packed at some point is going to break down in the packaging. So I found some, we bought them. Nobody had pasta. Even Costco had no pasta. But here's Barilla pasta. The restaurant supply place across from there had pasta, had salt, had fucking Morton salt, had 25-pound bags of salt. So it's out there, you just have to find it. And then once you have it, what are you going to do with it? We take all this stuff and we put it in buckets. So you buy the pasta, right? The contents of the bucket usually cost less than the bucket. So here's pasta. This won't even fill a 5-gallon bucket fully. And this is, what is this, 10 pounds. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds of pasta. 5-gallon bucket. But, you know, God forbid you just put it in a 5-gallon bucket because there's weevils or there's moths or whatever, right? You're going to have pantry moths, those little moths that fly around everywhere. So what do? We put it in a 7-gallon Mylar bag right there. That's what's in those. And then we put 3,000 cc's of oxygen absorbers in there. So by the time you fill it with pasta, you've got a $100 bucket right there, right? And I remember watching a video. It was like Bourdain or somebody, right? He's traveling around eating weird foods and shit. But he goes into this like grass hut. I want to say it was in Vietnam. Goes into this grass hut, and I remember Scully saying something about this too. Maybe it was in Thailand. He goes into this hut, and there's this whole, it's like 3 or 4 huts, and they're all connected, and they're on stilts because the water floods underneath in the rice fields. And they said he has this whole room of rice, and he said, this is the rice for my family. And they said, why so much? He said, because the rats eat half of it. We're the only ones that worry about moths. Every other country, they've got, you know, rodents and all kinds. They're eating rat shit with their rice and all kinds of stuff. There's always a way to do it. And bad is relative to the person you're talking to, right? What does gone bad mean? Oils and fats will go rancid. I always just thought they were kind of off tasting, and then I, you know, started looking into it, and apparently they can make you sick over time, and other people are more sensitive than others. But like in dry goods like rice, pasta, stuff like that, what does bad mean? When you cook it up, don't tell anybody that you're feeding it to there were moths in it, right? Put a red pasta sauce over the top, they'll never know. First produce market tomorrow, hoping to find some good deals on meat, right on. International types know when it's time to prep. 3-in-1 coffee packets are killer prep items. Pasta is easy to make, eggs and flour. Just take time to roll it out. They don't have to have a roller. Prepped for the 2 planes I have to inspect this week, right on. Check Aldi. We bought a bunch of pasta there the other day, right on. We have Aldi's around here. How's it going? Order more stuff. Thanks for the order, man. About 14 inches of snow. That's real snow. I think we had 8 at one sitting this time. I think we got like 8 inches. Didn't keep us from anything. 8 inches of snow. Like, we use heavy wood mulch, you know, wood chips, and it's hot. So even when there's snow there, it's not there very long. So our animals are always out. People always ask, like, what do you do with the ducks when it freezes? All of our animals have like 10 by 10 dog runs they can get into that has wood mulch on the bottom, and then there's tarps over the top. It's like a circus tent. They're pulled taut. And then we put sides in there on the side. We cover the sides of them, and we'll put like straw on the sides to make windbreak. The ducks lay out on the frozen ice, always. So do the dogs. We do the same shit for the dogs. All our dogs have dog runs. All of our dogs have kennels. All of our dogs have straw inside and bedding. All of our dogs lay out in the ice. You know that under the FDA regulations, there is an acceptable amount of rodents that can go into every vat of chocolate bars. There's an acceptable amount of rodents that can go into every vat of chocolate bars. There's an acceptable amount of animal hair and rodent feces in every individual candy bar. Did you know that? Look it up. Don't take what I'm telling you. Check it out for yourself. Just a little bit of snow shuts down everything southeast. I was born in Beaumont, Texas, Charlie. Do you vacuum pack stuff? Where do you buy rolls of bags? Okay, so Tom, we don't buy rolls of bags. That's shitty vacuum sealers. And typically vacuum sealers that use rolled bags are shit, and they don't hold their seal very long. We do use vacuum sealers. We use a chamber vacuum sealer. It's an investment for sure. You're going to pay $1,200, $1,600 for a chamber vacuum sealer. You can find them less money. Webstaurant sells a brand. It's kind of a no-name brand, like a clone of the VacMaster. VacMaster's the best stuff you can get. And we buy our bags 1,000 at a time. That's what all these are. They're thousands of bags. And when you buy bulk, you buy from restaurant supply places. You can buy from Uline or Webstaurant. And that's where you buy your bags from. And yes, we do. We vacuum seal all kinds of shit. These are vacuum sealed right here. These ones didn't hold. That's why they're up here. I wonder where those went. I had boxes full of those. I don't know where they got set. But we vacuum seal all kinds of shit, man. We do. And in this case, this bean mix, we cut the corner off so it'll let the air out, and then we vacuum seal them. These two didn't hold seal for some reason, but that's out of like 100 of them. So all she'll do is she'll just cut this seal off and use the exact same bag and re-vacuum seal it. Vehicle med bag setup. Thanks to Chuck Peoples for helping me out. Right on. Those chamber sealers are so expensive. Are they though? Compared to what? Are they expensive compared to the food that you're going to throw away? Are they expensive compared to compressing the food so that you can take all of your dry goods compressed and be able to put 30% more food on your shelf? You just have to look at it differently. And what is expensive? How much is the phone in your hand? Most people on this video right now are holding a $1,000 cell phone, if not more money. What's your internet plan look like? What's your cable plan look like? What's your cigarette cost per month? What's your vape cost per month? What are you drinking in alcohol? It's all perspective. This one was the 215. I bought one of these because Josh had a 210. I tried to buy the 210 and couldn't get it shipped next day. I paid $450 just in shipping to have this here tomorrow. It's all perspective. You don't have to buy a VacMaster. When you search VacMaster on Webstaurant, you will see they have kind of a generic version that gets very high ratings. Split it with a friend. Split it with a family member. You use it. If you use this thing for 1 week, you will not live without this. You don't just use it for food storage. This takes and infuses. Like if you want to make marinated onions, right, for a garnish or for a side, you don't have to put it in there and let it sit there for a week in the refrigerator. it does it in 5 seconds. It takes all of your marinade and pulls it into the meat. It will literally infuse your meat with any of your ingredients immediately. This one here will also it'll do quart jars. That's why it's got this bubble here. You can vacuum seal jars with these. $50 a week on smoke. That seems like a low amount too. Like you're not a pack of smokes a day guy. I have vacuum sealed toilet paper rolls down to flat squares. You certainly can. What's the cost of not? That's a good way to look at it, man. When guys start getting into food prep, they always want to buy the big things first, right? They want to buy the freeze dryer first. I would tell you, before you buy a freeze dryer, buy you a bunch of ball jars or generics, buy you a dehydrator first, and then get a vacuum sealer. The vacuum sealer, you can do so much with the vacuum sealer. You can do so much with the dehydrator. But John, I can't, you dehydrate stuff and it's only good for a couple of years. I have stuff I dehydrated when I moved here 15 years ago, and it's still in jars. Some of those jars are on this shelf here, as a matter of fact. And then there's other stuff that's, fresher. And this year, these were a bunch of figs we pulled off, sun-dried tomatoes. They're not sun-dried. I have a ton of cherry tomatoes we grow. We get blight here real bad. So we grow cherry tomatoes. I don't eat tomatoes for shit. So I just put them on a dehydrator and we'll mix them into pasta or put them on pizza or do whatever with them. Scuba vest. I don't even know what you're talking about. Also went into a 511 store this weekend, couldn't find any gear worth spending money on because the quality compared to your SOE company. It just depends what you need, right? 511 makes bags. If you in a pinch needed a bag, I would buy what I could source locally. Thanks for the compliment. Is inventory correct on the clothes bags? Yes and no. As we've been making them, there are. I'm sure that there are some clothes bags you could buy that we don't have. Order the clothes bag you want. Put in notes the other couple that you'll take, or I'll take the closest color, and it'll be sure to ship tomorrow. If you have an order for one already that hasn't shipped, if that's what you're really asking, it's because we don't have it. Eating jerky I dried 3 years ago. So we've been doing jerky and dehydrating it, but I ideally only want to run it for like 8 hours. I want it kind of moist, right? I want it like beef jerky that you buy in the package when you open it up at the gas station and it's still moist. I can run it super dry and then store it. We could vacuum seal it for sure, and it would last a lot longer, but it's dry, I want something juicy and sticky. What would you vacuum seal instead of canning or storing in Mylar jars? What would you vacuum seal instead of canning or storing in Mylar bags? Well, you're still going to put it in Mylar bags, but it's going to pull all the oxygen out of it. So, I mean, if you put like dehydrated broccoli in there and vacuum sealed it, it would vacuum seal it very flat and it would make it crushed, right? So you're going to have flat broccoli. What would you use that for? Broccoli soup, broccoli cheddar soup, but it wouldn't reconstitute back into normal broccoli. But the vacuum sealer is going to pull all the air out of it. You can just put an O2, like we vacuum seal shit, we don't even put O2 absorbers in them. We freeze dry a shit ton of chicken, and those go in bags, and then we vacuum seal the bags. Tool apron badass. Worked in a bitch of an attic yesterday, loaded, fitting the tool bag. Right on, man. Right on. There was a guy who stored a year's worth of toilet paper by packing cement-formed tubes with big coreless commercial rolls. He sealed them up and stored the tubes in rafters of his shop. I don't know why, like, I have a ton of toilet paper. We buy commercial toilet paper I've been preaching that for 20 years now. I've been telling guys, stop, even at your house, stop buying, come on, stop buying home toilet paper and buy commercial toilet paper. It is way, way cheaper. Like it's like 30% the cost of buying home toilet paper. And if you have girls in your house, it's typically girls. Like you ever been in a bathroom and you hear the person in the stall just ripping the toilet paper out? You should have a how to take a shit class and how to use toilet paper class with your family if you're a prepper. You take fucking a couple squares, maybe 3, fold it in half, wipe your ass, fold that again, wipe your ass again with the same fucking paper. It's doable. Those are people who've never been in jail or never been in the military or never been to summer camp. When you are in a position like in jail or in prison, you get one roll of toilet paper. To get your toilet paper, if you run out of toilet paper, you bring the core back. If you want to know how much toilet paper your family goes through, write a date inside the roll. And then when they bring it back to you, write the other date. Do that for about 6 months and then figure out how much toilet paper your family goes through. In doing that, you will know who is using the toilet paper also. Stop putting toilet paper in your bathroom and hand each of your children a roll of toilet paper. And don't fucking give them another one until they bring you the empty one back. You'll know how fast it's gone through. It will blow your fucking mind how much money people spend on putting on something they're going to put shit in and flush the fucking down the toilet. The big commercial rolls, they typically come 8 to a box. They stack up and you can put them right in a corner. And if you're worried about water on the attic floor, on the basement floor or whatever, you can stack them up on a pallet. You could totally put them in bags if you're worried about them getting wet. But toilet paper, when you start buying commercial toilet paper, you will cut your toilet paper bill probably 60, if not 70%. Fabric is reusable. Matt Christopher, what's up? I've been bagging up dehydrated lean, pre-seasoned ground beef, Roma tomatoes, wild oyster mushrooms here lately. Right on. I've been bagging up dehydrated. Right on. So you're dehydrating ground beef. How long will that store? Like, I don't know. I'm not asking you because I have some answer to it. That's a real question. Stick an apple peel or 2 in the bag with beef jerky that's too dry. Good idea. I always thought I would make it super, super dry so it stores, and then when I want to use it, I'll just spray it with a spray bottle of water or apple juice or something. Yeah, VacMaster to marinate pork chops. The VacMaster will marinate anything. I have all my prepper seeds planted in my starting cups. They are already starting to poke through. Right on. He figured out a cement form that was the same diameter as the commercial walls. Cool. Cool. I don't like to put things like a cement form is just a cardboard tube for you guys that don't know. You dig a hole, you stick 4 feet of it in the ground or whatever for your footers, and then 12 inches stick above, and you can put a metal plate in there so you can attach wood, or you can use chemical anchors or whatever, right? So you can buy these tubes. I think they come 10, 12 feet long, and then you just cut them and make whatever you need out of them lengthwise. More power to him, whatever he's going to do. I guess if he's putting them in cardboard, he puts it in the attic. It keeps rodents from getting in it, maybe. I don't ever have a problem with any of that shit. Maybe it's waxed. Maybe it's waterproof. I don't know. I used cement forms and wrapped them 550 cord for the cats. Right on. Told my wife she is not getting more TP until she hands me a roll. I got punched in the face. Just kidding. Yep, I was in San Quentin back in the day. You never knew when you got more, especially if you are white. I got it down to using 2 squares. Javier Smith, you're in San Quentin, huh? That's fucking nuts. Paper to ash ratio. We've done like we talk like because people don't know. People just don't know. As a person who buys toilet paper for 20 women, I use the employee bathrooms. I'll be on the toilet and I'll hear 2 women in the women's bathroom just back to back on the other side of the wall, and you'll hear the toilet paper. It makes like you know that they just pulled out fucking 4 feet of toilet paper. They're not ripping it up and using it. They do that because they don't have to pay for it. Dehydrated ground beef, always use 90-10. You brown and, okay, right on. Then dehydrate it to gravel consistency. I've eaten it a couple years old, no issues. If you use lean ground beef and dehydrate it, it's crunchy. It will keep indefinitely, especially if you use desiccant. It needs to be lean or the fat will spoil. Good information. So what would you use, what would you cook with that ground beef? Or is it just like a snack? Or you're just eating it by the handfuls? Like what would you do with it? Probably put it in soups and stews or something, or maybe bake it into bread would probably work. Cold out there. They're pulling extra TP to take home. I don't, maybe. That's when we started using industrial rolls. I caught an employee. I knew how much I had used the bathroom that morning before anybody got there. And there was a shelf in the bathroom that had toilet paper and it was full. And I'd been in the bathroom that morning and then all the employees got there. And I had to go, I went back into the bathroom maybe 20 minutes after business started. And I noticed that there was a bunch of rolls missing. And a lady had taken it and put it in her bag. You know when people are taking their purses and shit into the bathroom with them, you know there's some shit happening. Because most of them don't. We work in very close proximity here. And like we know who stole the toilet paper. And that's when I stopped using rolls of toilet paper and we started buying industrial toilet paper. I also don't buy paper towels here. Like we don't have paper towels in the paper towel dispenser. Wash your hands, shake them off, wipe them on your fucking clothes. They're clean. You just washed them. I don't, because people, if I have paper towels in there, if I have like hand towels in the hand towel dispenser, the trash can is full of fucking paper towels. It's one of the biggest cost fucking sources in the entire fucking in any business is paper goods. Like we don't have it. Fucking, you just washed your hands, right? You just took a shit, you just washed your hands, dry them off on your fucking pants. Or buy your own fucking paper towels. I'm not buying them. It's best to cook the ground beef, wash the hot water. Yeah, that's what we rinse it out. Ground rabbit would indeed be perfect. You need to brown and drain it. You can snack on it like grape nuts, rehydrate it for spaghetti, chili soups. Good information. Vinny VCG mentioned you on your wrench rolls and tool bags on his live last night. Right on. He was supposed to be here. He called. He hit me up a day before the event and said he wasn't coming. I'd asked him to come out and talk probably 3 months before the event. He was scheduled. We had him on the schedule and everything, and he didn't make it out. So maybe next time. Maybe we'll get him out next time. Think how much money big companies save just on TP from having people work from home. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I know why all the places have gone away from toilet paper and have the hand dryers in them. Newspaper is the best to clean glass and mirrors. I use old newspaper. Yeah. We don't have newspapers anymore. They're just not here. Like I haven't personally touched a newspaper in probably 15 years. We just, one of the girls that works here just cleaned the glass doors upstairs, and I didn't have any newspaper here. Rather watch this live stream than the bullshit propaganda. So I'm about to get off of here, Johnny. Just don't watch the propaganda when you get off of here. Just and you don't realize that it's propaganda. Just put a video on YouTube and make sure it's not about fucking current events, whatever you do. Whatever you need to watch to make you better, to inform you, to help you grow more food this year, to be more fit, to be more driven in business, whatever it is, watch that shit. But don't get caught on the fucking social media that is just telling you about current events, especially if they're not in your fucking hometown. If they're not in your home, not your country. If they're not in your hometown, if it doesn't immediately affect you tomorrow, watch something that does affect you tomorrow. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Everybody have a good night.